Hey everybody, Signa here with the Bullish Bears. We're going to do another deep dive, this time into PayPal. On your screen you can see the weekly chart for PayPal. This is it's an information technology sector, and I need to really stress that. Credit cards that you might think are part of financial sectors, they're not always part of financial sectors. You would have to really dig down into the industry and then into the sub industry to actually find that they belong to a particular kind of financial institution. So, for an example, let's just go over to my watch list for a moment, and I'm going to click on industry. We're going to widen that out where we can read it a little bit, and I'm going to stop when we get to IT services. And notice that PayPal Holdings belongs to IT services. So does MasterCard and Visa. Paycom is a software company just like Slack Technologies or Adobe or Microsoft. And then you've got things like banks. So Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Bank of America. Now, on this watch list, I do have American Express. So now let's kind of put them in their order and start to look at American Express. Consumer finances, okay? Credit card, American Express, consumer finance, Bank of America, banks. So don't assume just because it's something you recognize, like Visa, that you know what industry it goes to. Here is Visa, by the way, IT services. So MasterCard or American Express or Visa or Discover, right here, Discover, just like your Discover credit card, it's consumer finance. So you always want to make sure that you know for a fact what industry or sector or subsector that you're in, and that you're actually in the one that you think you're in. So for PayPal, it is information technology, data processing, and outsourced services. It's ranked number 8 out of 47 in the industry, ranked 116 out of 524 in the sector, and overall it ranks 813. Now, I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised by those numbers, and it makes me very curious. If PayPal is number 8, and as I'm about to show you here, PayPal has a lot of growth potential. If it's only number 8, then what else is ahead of this, right? And if it's number 16 in the sector, what else is ahead of this? I'm really interested in that question myself, and I'm going to be digging into that when I'm done recording this video. So we've got a quant rating breakdown. Value, this thing scores an F. Growth is a B. Profitability, A+. Momentum, A. Revisions, A. What got my attention on this one, the trailing 12-month earning per share 218, estimated earning per share for 2021, $4.74. We're looking to double the earnings per share. Now, this is a trailing 12-month earnings per share. Okay, 3-year growth 0.22. Let's look at the revenue and the earnings per share. 2016, 120, 115, 147 in the next year, 171, 207, 373. Guys, that number right there, that shift difference right there, that's where we really started to see some changes in this market. You can see how it was just kind of holding the line, and it was growing, right? Don't get me wrong. It went from 47 to 79, doubled in 2017. And then all of 2018, it really just couldn't get out of its own way. It couldn't get anywhere, right? It set some new highs, don't get me wrong. But the growth really started to come at the end of 2018. And you can look here, this is SPY in 2018. For those of you who don't remember, we had the October surprise and the massive sell-off and then the rally out of Christmas. Well, PayPal just held the line. It didn't dump. It didn't crash and collapse, but it really didn't do anything, right? So not a lot of surprise there. The market rallied back up and PayPal got back on the horse and started chugging along. This change here, from 207 to 373. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where it really started to kick off, right? That's where this massive growth came in. Now we're talking about going from 373, which is an incomplete number, by the way, right? The year's not done. It's an incomplete number. But even though the year's not done and we have this number, we do have an estimated earnings per share for 2021, and we're looking at $4.47. So from 207 to 373, it's a ballpark number, up to 474.47. Guys and gals, this is where I'm focused right here. I want to grab a hold of some of this. I am going to see what has a higher score than this, perhaps on the value side, but this one definitely got my attention. Okay, so we looked at the revenue, we looked at the earnings per share. Now let's look at what else we got. Earnings here is a little bit of a report from the earnings. PayPal is showing no signs of slowing down. Indeed, as of the second quarter of 2020, its active accounts were up 21% year over year, with more than 26 million active merchant accounts. Institutional ownership in this company, 86%. The beta, 114. The ETFs that hold PayPal and weigh it, we've got iPay. It has a weight of PayPal of 6.57%, FPX 6.55, IYJ over 6%, BALT over 6%, and FINX over 6%. The number of new active accounts spiked 137% in the second quarter, driven by the pandemic lockdown, right? People are shopping more from home. They're shopping with their phones. They're paying with their phones. Why? Because they don't want to touch something that somebody else has touched. So if they can do all of their transaction by their phone and not have to touch the digital pad there at the store, or if they're shopping from home, they're paying with their PayPal, it gives them dispute resolution. So that is growing. As a part of my own personal notes, if you're looking to get involved into this company and add it to your portfolio, there is always things that you want to watch for in every company, right? If you're trading Tesla, you want to see their car production numbers. If you're trading AMD, you want to know when their new chip sector is coming out. Apple, the new phones. With this, it's new accounts. You always want to see the total net new accounts. Anytime you can find data on this thing, that's the data you're wanting to look for. And total payment volume. That's a number that you really want to look for, okay? Those two need to continue to grow. Now, the danger with trading this thing is if they run into any kind of situation or problems with their payment volume. So anytime that they have to spend money to resolve a problem, it cuts into their final numbers, okay? So anytime you see anything about a problem in the news, if they're talking about PayPal and they mention some new issue that they're trying to resolve that has to do with the total payment volume, it should get your attention. I want to read two things here. One came from Seeking Alpha, and the other one came from the CFRA report. All right, now that CFRA report, I got it from Schwab. I will show you at the end of the video where I found that report, and you can use that report to build a chart for yourself that looks a little bit like mine. We see revenue growth of 19 to 21% for the year 2020, an acceleration from the 15% growth in 2019. It's spurred by the COVID-19 spike in e-commerce. Revenue growth may stay close to the 20 to 21% range in 2021. Recognize the growth between 2019 and 2020 and this amazing surge here. It comes from these numbers. All right, from the CFRA report, Our risk assessment reflects our view that the company serves dynamic markets and faces notable competition. However, we think the company is well positioned and well managed, and it has a healthy growth profile, possesses a strong and flexible balance sheet. There you go, guys. So you know what to watch for. You know what major analytical firms have targeted. They do have a little bit more down here that I keep in my notes. Acquisition has become a key element of PayPal's growth strategy, with more than 20 investments in or the full purchase of companies since the beginning of 2017. They don't go out and try to make new technology, they just absorb companies with the technology that they need. All right. A couple more numbers to look at. Total payment volume. Look at the Q1 through Q4 total payment volume growth from 161 to 172, 179, 199. All right, now here's where we had a little bit of slip. It slipped in the first quarter to 191 and then popped from that up above 2 billion, or excuse me, 200 billion to the 222. So we want to keep our eye on that number. At the next earnings, those are the two numbers that are really going to matter. Okay, well, three if you count what we need to watch for. And what we need to watch for is anything that has to do with total volume, total payment volume. That's where the risk comes in. If they struggle with that, if they're spending money to solve total payment volume problems, we want to know about it. PayPal is also PayPal Credit. It's Braintree, Vimo, Zoom, paid, whatever this is, Payment products. All of that is a part of the PayPal platform. Okay. The major issue, and I need to make this red so it's easier to see. The major issue with PayPal is its ability to contain pay volume type expenses. This is absolutely critical to the growth. All right. That's it, guys. This is a buy for me. I would absolutely love to put this in the portfolio. I don't know how quickly it's going to get allocated in there, but it's definitely something that I'm looking to begin a position in, hopefully by the mid-October. All right, so here we are. We're on my Schwab's account. Now, this is not a funded account. I don't trade here. I only keep it around because brokers have a lot of tools that we can use. Guys, that you could go spend money to get this information maybe already gathered for you, but man, the brokers have so much. All you got to do is go look. Now, it doesn't cost me anything to be a customer here. I don't have an account. It's not funded. I mean, I have an account, but it's not funded. I don't trade here. I don't do anything here other than just use their resources. So I typed in PayPal, and this is the generic little pop-up. You want to actually click on the link there, and it brings you to this. Now, two things. Research design, yes, we want to hit that. So I'm going to hit that, let it load. I'm going to move it out of the way. Rating summary. We've got all of these different divisions, all of these different companies that are willing to analyze PayPal for me and give me their report. Okay, so we've got investment profiles, research reports, stock reports, analyst reports, another research report. All of this is free. I can just click on this and go check it out. These are some big name firms that are giving you 20-year reports or 30-year reports, meaning some 30-year analyst who's been doing this probably longer than you've been alive, and he's willing to give you his perspective on the market or hers for free. So a lot of the information that is on that chart that we were just looking at came from these reports. You can go to places like Seeking Alpha or IBD, and there's times when I do that, but if I don't need to, I'm just going to get my information from right here. Use your broker, guys. I've got accounts everywhere. E-Trade, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Schwab, IBKR. Those places want your business, and they're constantly thinking, gosh, what new thing could we give to people to make them come over and be a customer at our firm? Use it. All right, guys, that's it. I appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing you at the next video.